The Luck Stops Here podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. It's also the fastest growing fantasy app in the industry. Get ready. We will be giving out an entry later for the pickup game where you pick your favorite players to have a higher or lower stat total in this week's game for a chance to win big. You can win up to 100 times your money in a single night. Pick between 2 and 5 players to build a pick'em entry. Can also make rivals picks, which pits 2 players against each other, like which player will have more yards or more points. I love doing these. This is a lot of fun, and I'm sure you will too. You'll see when I do this later in the episode. So sign up today with promo code LSH. Get your first deposit doubled up to $100 as well as an instant pick'em special. Visit underdogfantasy.com or find them in the App Store. And don't forget to register with my promo code LSH to get your first deposit doubled up to $100 as well as an instant pick'em special. Must be 18 or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit www.ncpgambling.org. We are also brought to you by mybookie.ag. Yes, mybookie.ag. Use promo code Bowser to get a deposit bonus of 100% up to $1,000 and a free casino chip. That's a $10 casino chip, I'm pretty sure. And so go over there and you can get a free, if you use crypto to deposit, deposit bonus. So we're getting all kinds of fun DGen action over there. So make sure you use promo code Bowser at Underdog Fantasy or mybookie.ag. Oh, we are back. It's been a couple weeks. Hope everybody's well. We got a lot going on. Without further ado, I'm going to bring up this week's guest. He's probably been on the show more than anybody else. He's the only guest that's ever shared a bedroom with me for over a decade. It is my brother, Bret Bowser. Bret, how you doing, buddy?
What up? I'm doing well, man. I love the lounge vibe, man. Sitting there backstage with the lounge music, like
yeah, no,
I felt like I needed a martini.
Yeah, no, I can make you. I'll make you one next time. No, but yeah, welcome back, everybody. It's been a few weeks. I honestly, when the wildfires hit, I had a couple people that had to cancel as guests because they were getting evacuated and whatnot, and I just felt weird rescheduling and doing like promoting while my friends are all fucking scrambling for their lives. And so yeah, I took a couple weeks off, and I got very sick there for a minute during all that too, which was kind of wild. Like, and it took me a minute to recover. I am not a spring chicken anymore. It was a bad stomach virus. It was gnarly, but I'm all right now. I'm all right.
You're closer to Thanksgiving turkey than a spring chicken.
Yeah, there's probably something to that. But dude, we got a fun one today, and we're starting hard. Oh God, we're coming in hard. As pun intended, because all right, I have no idea who this fucking guy is, for the record, but since Twitter, or aka X.com, has now become this cesspool of just the weirdest shit, and like also, I've spent years. This is long before the Elon takeover, but I've spent years blocking advertisers on there just because if you block all the big advertisers, you start seeing the weird one. You know, like you dude. They run out of shit to advertise to you, you know? Like, dude, like, I get some really interesting ads in my feed that I should do a post for the website where I just screenshot the best ads that come across my feed. Because sometimes I'm like, who the fuck do they think I am? Like, it's fantastic. I can't even think of an example off the top of my head. But like, no, it'll be like Christian business organization. Like, I'm like, dude, like, who the fuck, like, no, I'm not a Christian business owner. I mean, I guess technically I'm a small business owner, but like, dude, like, definitely not a Christian fucking thing.
There was a time when my company did Havana Nights Christmas party carnival, and I was like, I don't even know what Sam's supposed to dress in for that theme. So I did a couple Google searches of what kind of would fit that theme. And now my algorithm forever has like, hey, I think you'd be interested in this like very leg showy, like floor length dress, sir. And I'm like,
well, and like
dude,
Havana,
I did like 2 Google searches 5 years ago.
And if I'm not mistaken, Carnival is in Brazil, right? In Rio.
That's why it was like all over the place. Like
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's not Havana, that's Cuba.
like
That's
it was like a Venn diagram of 3 different themes, and I was trying to find the center circle that fit them all
oh
because
man,
it's like, yeah, it was cold, and none of those
yeah.
other themes fit with cold. So
That's a summertime theme. Havana Nights is something you do in July. Like, what the fuck, dude?
yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, forever, like whether I'm on Amazon or Google or Yahoo or wherever, it's just like, hey, you might like this dress. Look, it's like the leg slit goes all the way up to your G string. I'm like, yeah, no,
No, I don't. I don't want this stuff.
I really don't.
Who the fuck do they think you are, J. Edgar Hoover?
I really wish algorithms would realize like you bought the thing. It's like, yeah, I was super interested in looking at mattresses, but I bought one.
No,
So
that part.
no
that
more.
That part right there. Because like, I wish, dude. Like, I bought a few things on there where, and then the second I buy it, they're like, I think you're gonna want. No, I literally bought that for cheaper.
I just bought it. I don't need it.
I just bought it. You sold it to me.
You already won.
I mean, that only works if you're like a crack dealer. You're like, I know you just bought some crack.
Hey, baby, you want some more crack?
More crack? Don't you? Like,
of course I do.
yeah, I love crack. Give me all the crack, like, dude. Okay, but anyway, so we're dude, this is so funny. But yesterday on Twitter, so yeah, this got retweeted in my timeline by someone. Actually, Valerie Keaton on Twitter. She's very funny. Follow her. But she like quote tweeted it, and I saw the original post, and it just blew my mind. And I had to share it with you and a couple other friends immediately because this was just too good. This guy Brian Johnson, I guess he's one of these like AI guys. And he's big on wanting AI to take over the world. And just keep in mind, like I've been pretty critical of AI because I just feel like they're trying to make it like a thing. Like, for example, like AI art. They want you to just be able to do your art quickly on AI and get back to work instead of, no. I want my work to be AI. Let me get back to making art and doing things I like doing. Not that I'm like a painter or anything, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like they want to automate a lot of fun stuff so we can get back to the boring shit. And don't get me wrong, it's got great potential to automate a bunch of boring shit that none of us want to do. And I'm on board for that. But I feel there's this need to make it like, and like so many people, like I've seen people like at one of my old jobs, like literally the old boss was asking Chat GPT what the state laws are. It's like, no, you just go to the state website.
Yeah. Because the thing is it's wrong a lot of the time. What you use it for is like, I'm super fucking annoyed right now. This is what I wrote. Take out the part that makes it sound like I'm super fucking annoyed.
So I've been getting the website together for the show. It's almost ready. Like, be ready in the next couple weeks probably. Putting the final touches on it, and then Kramer's going in and like making it look good. But like, I've got almost like a lot of the content that I want ready. But like, dude, you kind of use an AI thing for that, but I write it. And it just goes, hey, you forgot a comma here, you dipshit. I mean, that's a lot of like, dude, that's a very basic kind of thing. It's still got my personal touch on it. I'm not saying like, hey, write me 500 words on this fucking, like, but I'm using it to clean up and make sure I'm not like getting redundant with my word phrasing and stuff, or I'm mixing it up. It's got like a readability score, as they say in SEO internet talk. But like,
use it as an editor, not an author, right?
Yes, exactly. Whereas I used to have Jen or like Sean or somebody proofread shit for me to make sure I didn't fuck it up. Like now I just use this fucking app. Like, and it makes it easier. So I don't know. I don't know what this guy does in the AI space, but dude, all right. So here it is, man. We're just gonna go for it. We're gonna rip the Band-Aid off now. He posted this graph, and I mean, it's a fancy looking graph. I'm not gonna lie, it looks good. But then what the data that the graph represents is the disturbing part, because it's nighttime erection data from my 19-year-old son, Talmadge Johnson, and me. Now, Talmadge Johnson is 100% a character from Blazing Saddles, right?
Definitely. He got cut out because it was
He
too
got cut
risque
out.
for that movie.
There's already Howard Johnson and Cletus Johnson. Like,
Yeah.
if you're not familiar with Blazing Saddles, the joke is everybody in this redneck town last name is Johnson. They're all fucking red related. Like, yeah, Talmadge Johnson definitely sounds like one of the small business owners in Rockridge and Blazing Saddles. But dude, okay, his duration is 2 minutes longer than mine. Raise children to stand tall, be firm, and upright. Now, this guy's getting properly roasted in his replies by everyone under the sun. And there's a part of me that thinks this is like a humiliation fetish.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I love being, but like he tagged his son in it, dude. And the son, like, I clicked on the son's profile. Guess what? Son's into it too. Like, yeah, man, fucking hogs up to me and Pops, dude, playing tummy sticks over here. Like, now our father passed away when we were teenagers. And, you know, tragically it sucks and all, but thank God dad never went, hey, Scott, it's your 18th birthday. Time to start fucking comparing boners, dude. Like, dear God.
So we know the who and the what. The questions I'm stuck on are the how and the most importantly, the why.
Yeah. Okay. So no, the why I think I can get to, because there's this whole like alpha male culture where, you know, like they need to have the hardest boners. Kind of like can't you see that though? Like in that like
But okay, so I could follow that to the point where, but this is why you're sleeping. Like,
yeah, dude, like I want to know. This is very true, dude.
You know what I mean? Like, when
like,
it's time for action, how do you perform? I could get wanting to see.
A few years ago, I had a little health problem and I had to wear a heart monitor for a couple nights for it.
You wear it on your dick?
I know. I wore it on my wrist the way I was supposed to, like to get my pulse overnight. Yeah, I should have been putting it on my hog. And they're like, whoa, in the middle of the night, you must had a weird dream.
Dude, your heartbeat went off the charts.
Yeah,
dude. Okay, so on the graph, it has like I don't even know I'm not looking at it right now, but it was like percentage of like how good it was, like what like
yeah. So I'll get okay. There's subcategories, right? It's number of erection episodes that they chart, total duration of erection episodes, average erection quality.
There you go, quality.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah, what's erection quality like?
So how are you measuring quality? So okay, so in my mind, here's my scientific brain going. You have to have like some kind of, you know, they have like the Fitbit watches.
Yeah. Like,
and they have the Fitbit rings.
Yeah,
this is
what
the Fitbit cock ring.
Yeah,
it's okay. Fitbit cock ring.
There we go. Okay.
Okay. Now
you're not supposed to put your Apple Watch on your dick, like.
No, you're not. And we all know we all come in different shapes, sizes, and girths, right? So if I'm really stretching that band out, someone with an even bigger hog might be breaking that band. So how do you get to quality? Do you have to like put in like, no, this is 100% of what I got?
No, do you have to like? I mean, to me, if we really want to get scientific here to get a true like source to the data, like I would say you probably need to make like a plaster mold of your dick. Yeah. And send it to like a research, like a place that custom makes your boner measuring gizmo. Because yeah, like you said, yes, all like a lot of different hogs out there. I just like how sleep efficiency is in there too, where it's like get ready to get sleep efficiency with all these boners, son. Like
I couldn't sleep, man. I'm a belly sleeper and I was making a tent of myself.
Yeah. Really, I sleep on my chest, man. I was doing push-ups all night. Like,
yeah, the whole thing is fucking bizarre. But I'm like, to get the baseline of what 100% is, you just have to pop a Viagra and see what that is, and then okay, that's 100. That's
also this is really funny to me. Of just like you get 5 boners a night while you're sleeping. That just how long are you sleeping for? Like, it seems like. It's like it just seems like your dick's just going bam, 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 like all night while you're asleep. Like that doesn't make sense. I wake up in the middle of the night all the time to pee because I have a fucked up prostate, and I'm not sitting there with a fucking. I mean, I am a almost 46-year-old man. I'm not a 19-year-old boy like old Talmadge here, or I guess the dad's 43 to put it in comparison. So he's roughly the same age as we are. Like he's like the same age as we are. Like, dude, so and then 182 minutes of boners throughout the like, and then the other one was 5 and 182. The other one was 6 and 184. So like, you're telling me your dick's rock hard for 3 hours every night? Like,
it's weird, dude. The only one I care about is the one I wake up with, because if it's anywhere near 100, it's going to be difficult to pee into the toilet.
Now, some of the
I don't want to do handstands anymore.
I gotta say, dude, some of the replies on here are pure gold, dude. And like,
no, they have to be.
And like my favorite, Jake Flores, friend of the show, responded on a funny one with like just tag the FBI. Like he didn't respond to anything other than at FBI. Which is
good.
Yeah, I mean that's I mean, because like, dude, like I don't care if the kid's 19, dude. Any dad who does a bunch of boner stuff like that with the kid at 19, there's got to be some sort of other weird stuff. And I'm not saying he's like molesting the kid or anyway. I don't want to get sued for libel here, but
you shouldn't be that interested in anyone else.
Yeah,
you're that interested in your own boner. All right.
No, you shouldn't. Like, especially once you're in your 40s. Once you're in your 40s, it's a sad boner, man.
Does it work? Does it not work?
Is it gonna, man? It's like a pop gun. I used to have a shotgun. It's a pop gun now. Like barely.
Yeah. So I think we've established this guy bought a matching set of cock rings for him and his son that has like biometric data.
So one person put, I have a feeling this won't even crack the top 10 most disturbing chapters in your son and little autobiography. I thought that was pretty good. This guy, random guy, I think this guy's like serious from like an investor, like venture capitalist perspective. But this guy's like, public company executives should have to publish this data so we can make informed decisions about who we trust with our capital. Yeah. Oh, the boner guy, give him all my money.
they needed a fourth chart there for people who give a fuck about this, and they could just have both of them like back to back like this.
Dude,
I'm guessing this guy's no longer married.
Yeah, I have a feeling he's
I don't think that there's a mom in the picture. Yeah, any of this goes down, dude. Yeah. I couldn't imagine fucking going to my wife of being like, hey, not only am I going to start tracking my night boners, we're tracking our sons as well. We're going to compare.
There's so many good replies on here now. I'm having a tough time finding it. I should have fucking screenshotted it, but there was one where it's like, this is a good example of this type of post. But like, don't listen to the haters, Brian. Knowing the details of your son's erections is perfectly normal, and quite frankly, it would be weirder if you didn't post about it. That's from Vandalay Bloom. I might as well just. Oh man, no, because like there was one though that was just like, "Hey man, I just wanted to talk to you because." Usually when I come in to talk to my son about his boners, he tells me to get out of the room, and it's weird. And I just want to know a better way of opening up the dialogue here. Like the troll jobs that are going down here are just incredible. But like, yeah, so okay, let's go check in on town. Okay, well, first off, before this, then like he doubles down later, dude. Like he keeps wanting to talk about my son is my best friend. Like, dude, that's no, man, dude. Your best friend needs to be someone that you can like do something horrible with, and you're not going to get in trouble. You see, like that's the best friend, not a father. Like as much as we want to be parents, and the parents that say that, man, they really need to get some adult friends or something. This is what happens when you're like a CEO of an AI company and you don't talk to anyone ever.
So a big part of having a best friend is you don't have to tell them any lies. And a big part of being a parent is lying to your children. And it's not malicious lies. It's just like You need a better world than the one I'm in. So here's a little lie.
Yeah, here's a
Say that
little
old Santa Claus.
uh, but dude, no, he posted a checklist. Okay, here it is. He posted this checklist because this guy posts a lot, man. It's taken me forever. This was yesterday. The other one, I had to scroll through a mile just to fucking get to this next one. All right. Here's his. You want to hear? This is an hour ago. You want to hear his advice on how to be a good dad? I mean, you got two kids.
Yeah. Buy cock rings.
Right. Go to the cock ring warehouse. Cock ring.
Any cockle do.
Okay, how to be a good dad. That's from Mr. Show with Bob and Dave, for those that aren't familiar with that reference. Be sure your child prioritizes sleep. I can get on board with that. Is that a bad message?
No.
Eats nutritious food. I can get on board with that. I've been eating much healthier, and I've lost about 50 something. I was up over 300 pounds. I'm down to like 245 again, you know? Yeah.
Golf clap.
Yeah, man. Gets regular exercise. Get on board with that too. This is all good stuff.
Yeah.
But you know, once you start off, like if you have like, you don't really need much more than that in life, to be honest with you. You know, you want
to. And tip one is already tilted for me because I know he's measuring cocks while he's
yeah. I've already okay. But loves to learn. I agree with that too, man. You know, reading, like wanting to be curious about the world and finding out stuff. Like that's a good thing to do. Thinks critically, absolutely. You know, we need more critical thinkers. But I don't think this guy's idea of critical thinking is what we think critical thinking is.
Oh no.
Plays well with others. Okay, now we're starting to. I mean, yeah. You want them to, get along with people.
It's hard to think of these without the context of the original post.
Yeah. It's starting to get weirder and weirder here. Build strong character. Oh, is that what you're calling your dick now? Your character.
That one's strange to me in that, like, it's very ambiguous.
Okay. Here's where it gets really bizarre. Because, by the way, I did a little more research of the guy. It'll make this next thing will make more sense when I tell you this too. But apparently he's been having his son like donate blood for him. Like he's harvesting his son's blood. One of those kind of guys. Okay.
Got it. Make sure you got that donor sticker on his ID.
Provides healthy plasma. So I really think this means like this kid is my plasma bank.
This kid's my personal organ donor. Yeah. I need to make sure he's healthy, he eats right, he exercises.
Yeah, dude. Like, I'm going to go fuck my shit up and have a perfectly healthy organ donor sitting right over here. Not a bad idea, to be honest with you. I mean,
not at all. More of a twin thing, but.
Yeah. You do that. You be the. I wish we both had twins. I wish we were like there was two sets of twins.
And I'll tell my twins like, okay, I'm ruining this liver, so one of you is gonna have to give one up. Better be better than the other one.
If we had two other brothers that were our twins, you and I would have been the evil twins. Yeah, we would have.
Hey, you've been competing in the I get to keep my kindy sweepstakes since you were born, and you don't know where you're at in the tally. So
yeah, we'd be punking those fools, is what I'm saying. Because you have to. Okay. And then provides healthy plasma, and then the final thing has robust nighttime erections. Like, how does that factor into how does that factor into improving any kind of quality of life? I mean, this is some real shit here, man.
I mean, let's all be honest here with ourselves. Erections really do get in the way of productivity.
Yeah. I mean, especially for a 19-year-old boy.
if you're really thinking about it, you're doing your best things in life when you don't have an erection.
Yeah. And some of the clearest thinking I do is right after the erection.
Yeah. It's like when I've never grown as a person when my member has grown. Like, I usually devolve a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of like the reverse evolutionary chart, where I kind of step back like half Cro-Magnon man a little. The second. All right, let's look at old Talmadge Johnson though while we're here, right? I mean,
got to. He's 19.
Yeah, he's a fucking Yeah, dude. 2025 goal: achieve the same biomarkers of the world's healthiest and most measured human. He started at 43. I'm starting at 19. No matter your situation, you can start now too. He's talking about his dad. He quote tweeted his dad with talking about, I have the best biomarkers. Dude, like, I don't want to brag about anybody who brags about their health in this way, like, that's weird. Because, like, so many people have bad health, like, that you can't control, like, just like genetic fucking stuff, and just be like, look how much better I have a specimen I am than you, motherfucker. Like, dude, like, that's just kind of a dick move. Like, I get it. You're fucking, like, this is why fitness people have always freaked me out. To me, running was always something I had to do as a punishment when I played sports, you know? Like,
yeah. It's also that thing of like really picking and choosing which what you are considering healthy. Oh, I go by biomarkers. What's your mile time? Oh, I don't run the mile. It's just biomarker. You know, like how much weight do you lift? It's like the weightlifters would be like, I bench 300. What do you bench? It's like my fitness is in other ways.
Yeah, and like, or like leg press, you know, like, I mean, dude, like there's so many other ways.
I'm more into pliability. I'm a Pilates guy.
But yeah, this kid, I don't know. He looks like he is, there's something where he quote tweeted the boner stuff and was just basically like, yeah, man, my dad's the coolest. And it's like, oh man, I really feel sorry for him. It kind of reminds me in a way of the South Park with Michael Jackson and his son. And they're like, oh man, it sucks that this kid's got to have that guy as a dad, you know, like,
yeah.
You know,
well, like I don't know. Does he think his dick doesn't work right, or his dad dick works great, or I don't know.
Yeah, you know, what'd be funny is if they, I mean, if someone cut their dicks off, that would be funny. just go in there and cut their dicks off.
You're like, hey, I got this new cock ring. It gives you all the biometrics,
yeah,
and then
it's really just a cigar cutter, wire, and then you yank the wire after to make sure it's on right.
Just a cigar cutter.
Yeah. I have extra cigar cutters. Shout out to Mesrobian for sending me a new one for Christmas, dude. That was a fucking sweet one. I got 2 new cigar cutters for Christmas, actually. Jen got me one of this little thing too. Like, you know, that's oh yeah. So yeah, Talmadge posted the erection data with, I'm grateful for the way my dad has raised me. And it's just like the double, God damn it. Yeah, I bet you he's raising you, all right. You fucking look at him and get chubbed up, you fucking sick little pervert.
Okay, I'm doubling down. Clearly no mom in the picture.
Okay, yeah, dude. There hasn't been a woman in this fucking family's like lineage for a while, dude. Like this not only is there no mom, there was no grandma for the dad. You know, like this is
yeah.
And hey, this is why you need strong women in your life, everybody. This is you know, like
exhibit A and B.
You know, and maybe you didn't have one growing up. Maybe it's your partner. However you need to find it, get a strong woman in your life. You'll be better off for it.
Yeah.
See, this shows anti-masculinity manosphere. You know,
they wouldn't have to even say anything. They would just give you a look, and you'd realize,
oh shit, I don't
far off the rails you've gone.
Fucking do that one. Oh god,
that was just that was jokes.
Jokes. All right. Well, enough boner talk. Let's get into some little for people that are here for the gambling content. I just want to talk to you real quick about college basketball. I have been getting knee deep into it lately. I've been in the fucking six. I'm gonna get some bets in here after we do the show. Maybe you and I will stick around on together and get our night plans together for some of these picks. But instead of getting into college basketball, it changes so fast. To me, it's harder to give it out the way we would football picks, which we are later in the episode here for the conference championships. But I've been noticing a couple trends, and I feel like if I don't tell people about gambling trends, I'm not doing my job on this show. And one thing I've noticed here is with this, it's really hard to like we notice it in football, but we're really noticing in basketball with these new conferences and all the extra travel and the scheduling. Like, dude, they are just fucking like it is a gauntlet for some of these teams on this shit, dude. It's insane. And it's so easy to pick some of these spots. I just hit a parlay 2 nights ago, Stanford and Cal. Dude, Cal was like a plus 2.5 underdog, and Stanford was like an 11.5 point favorite. Miami and Florida State had to go across the country. Dude, bam, bam. Dude, Cal won by like 9. Miami and Stanford started on like a 21-3 run. Miami was never even in the game. Like, yeah, it wasn't even like competitive at all.
And where this is really also going to have a bigger swing is when they go play over there. Like, I'm noticing this with UCLA. We're UCLA fans, but like they go out and they lose to Wisconsin at Wisconsin. And now people are like, oh, Wisconsin has something that could beat UCLA. And they're not thinking about the travel. I was talking about, didn't they play Wisconsin like a week or two ago?
Beat Wisconsin in Pauley.
Yeah, that's what my point is. When you play there, oh, we lost by 9. Well, you could almost say flip that whole script around, but the point spread's not going to match that second meeting. It'll change a little bit because you're home, but
and what I'm noticing too is there's almost a fucking pattern of like the teams get fucking embarrassed, like the other night, Florida State, Miami, right? It's almost like now the line's way more fucked up on them, and so now, but the travel spot's not as bad because they didn't just fly in. So now we're looking at, well, maybe we take them in the second game.
No, exactly. That was the other point. It's going to be, it's like, well, now you're just like traveling from Cal to Stanford, you know what I mean? Like you're already on the West Coast.
So I think like when you see these like new conference matchups with a cross country fucking travel spot, but they do it in these pairs, like that's why Cal and Stanford had to be admitted together to the ACC, Washington and Oregon together, SC UCLA together, because it would really fuck up the travel for these kind of sports. Like,
and these schools don't really get like top quality travel accommodations. You know what I mean? No. Like,
well, dude, and like think about it like this, like especially for like the West Coast schools going back east, or like, dude, like Cal, Stanford, Washington, UCLA, SC. Okay, that's the Bay Area, Seattle, LA. There's airports, and it's fucking right there, dude. Some of these smaller schools, like Penn State, like, dude, like they have a small airport that like some of these places, it's an airplane flight and then a 2-hour bus ride, 3-hour bus ride, and so like, and sometimes people don't factor that in. Sometimes like a shorter flight with the long bus ride's worse than just flying cross country.
It is, and it's not like, dude, they're hopping on commercial flights. They don't have private jets flying them over.
No, dude.
So you're talking like 8-hour travel days, and they're trying to get them there like same day, not like 2 days ahead of time. Like,
and it's not just the ACC and Big Ten with this now. I mean, we see it in like Conference USA, like New Mexico State is traveling to like goddamn Marshall, I'm saying? Like, there's so like. I think every week now in college basketball, you can just look at the schedule and just be like, all right, where were they the week before? Where are they this week? All right, let's play it out. Like,
yeah,
like there's gonna be like, I'm not even joking, 25 of those spots every week right now across the country, which is insane, and it's only going to get worse. It's like, what is it, Northern Illinois, which I guess isn't that, it's not like a huge cross country spot, but Northern Illinois joining the Mountain West. That's weird. That's a bus to an airport to another bus. That's like 2 long bus trips that like,
yeah, it's like an 8-hour travel day.
Yeah. Like, dude, it's crazy. So I felt like that's something we definitely need to be talking about, is like, and I mean, it's kind of a no brainer, like travel spots and these, but like, it's really showing up in college basketball right now. And because they do these traveling pairs, it opens us up for these parlays, like these 2-teamers, like a motherfucker.
You got to look at play style too. Like, that does not accommodate teams that want to run and score.
Well, and I mean, Miami, I think is on auto fade right now for me anyway, because their coach just fucking quit in the middle of December. Like, just, I don't want to do this anymore. Anyway, if the coach didn't want to be there, I doubt the players want to be there.
Yeah, I feel that.
And it's funny because they were like one of the first teams to really embrace the NIL in college basketball and built a Final Four team immediately. But then everybody else kind of copied what they did, and they didn't have like I was like, oh shit, like maybe we're not so smart at this. Like,
yeah, this paying players used to work a lot better when I could pay $3 million for the whole team under the table.
Yeah,
now that it's all on the books.
Well, no, but like, I mean, they did it. They were one of the first, like, but like they really built it through the portal.
And no, I'm just saying, it's like
Oh yeah,
they got all those transfers in. Now it's like everyone's like, man, I used to get a top level QB for 300,000. Now they're costing $6 million.
my prediction is you're going to see like Alabama starting to struggle here. It's like Auburn.
Oh yeah,
because it's not just the leveling out of everybody else being able to pay him now. Like you know, where they were one of the few, they're like the few schools doing it under the table. I think it's more like, dude, Alabama as a state just does not have the money that like Texas does, or even like Georgia does. You know, like
well, also it's like
there's just not the public funds that like just fire it. Like Texas can fire oil money like crazy into their football programs across.
If you've never bought a steak before, $30 for a steak doesn't sound unreasonable. If you're used to $5 steaks, it's hard to justify spending $30 on it. You know, so when you were getting those discount players under the table for years, it's like, man, we got much better talent for less.
And the portal allowed them to stockpile that talent too, where they're like 3 deep at every position. So yeah, we could take injuries and, you know, but and then all of a sudden it's like, now these guys are transferring to the opportunities to play and get paid. Like you're going to pay me more and let me play. Okay.
Team depth is killed everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. You saw it with Notre Dame, like injuries killed them.
That's why I'm actually kind of optimistic about UCLA the next like 3-4 years. Cause I'm like, it just has to have the right schedule one year and the right portal class coming in for that schedule almost. And you can have a run, you know, like, and I think Deshaun Foster as a head coach, I think he understands this. Like he's been very aggressive in the portal and whatnot. Went out and got the quarterback from Appalachian State. We just turned this into a UCLA football show real quick.
He drove an Escalade 20 years ago, and
yeah, he knows how it's done. Dude. he knows what he would have. But I mean, that's true though, dude. Players that took money and stuff and benefits while they were playing, are probably better suited to coach in this economy, kind of thing. You know, like they get it. They know how to speak the language. Like they.
I get it.
Yep. All right. So, all right, moving on now. We got some big news in the world of Photo Finish Live, my digital horse racing game that I love so much. You can use promo code SGPN to sign up for your own stable. And if you do, tell me about it, and I will send you 2 free horses to start your operation with, a male and female that are both retired already, that you can, as a breeding pair, so you can start breeding your own cheap ones, and then have a little pipeline going. I'm willing to do that for people. I only have so much that can go around in that, so take advantage of it quick. But yeah, got a free horse deal for people new to the game that use promo code SGPN on there. But what's really cool is they just made a bet gambling sponsorship with betblock.gg, which is a big like Web3 crypto kind of sports book that does shit. They have sponsorships with UFC, a lot of overseas soccer leagues. They're kind of working to get into the States more. And now Photo Finish is on the board, which is really cool because you'll be able to bet on the races pretty much if you have the Roku, especially with the Roku app that's coming out. So basically, you're able to sit at home and bet on races 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year on this app with this sponsorship. And like, dude, horse racing, gambling's fun. I own a lot of these horses, so this is going to be a good time. And me and Ryan Real Money Kramer, founder of the SGPN Network and co-host of the flagship sports gambling podcast, he and I got a new show coming out on the network for this stuff in like March. Like we're kind of doing it. We're going to start it during March Madness, pretty much. And it's going to kind of, because once March Madness is over, we're like, hey, we don't really have much to do until football. We should do a fucking digital horse racing show. But yeah, but that's going to be, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And like, dude, get in on it now because you use that promo code and whatnot. You can start stockpiling Crown. I'm looking at the price Crown right now. It's 18.4 cents per token. Okay. My prediction is this will be around $2 in 6 months when the gambling sponsorship thing is fully live and the reward emissions stop in April. And so once everything that's ever been made for that will be out there, there'll be no more ever to come out. And so once the market's finalized and set, it's going to start cranking up. So 18 cents right now is a steal, and you can stake it at tracks in the game and get paid for owning part of a racetrack. And me and Kramer have already made like $200 or so this season on that. And that just started last Monday. So that's pretty good so far. Like we're looking to do, and usually it slows down later in the season because it's like early in the season, it's everybody getting excited with the new ones. And you kind of find out, oh, these suck. I'm not going to run them as much and start focusing on the stuff that's challenging for like the end of the season major events and stuff, but it's good stuff. And so everybody sign up.
Continue.
What's that?
If these trends continue.
Yeah. But for reals. It's crazy though, because like people were complaining that there's no new stables. Lately, there's been like 15 to 20 new stables a day signing up, which when there was only like 1,000 or so of us active for a while, 2,000 or so active, 15 to 20 days, a big fucking chunk, uptick like every day. Like,
yeah,
that's growth, dude. So, yeah, I just wanted to, but dude, yeah, shout out to Ian Cummings and the gang over there for really putting together a fantastic game. And it's really exciting that they're getting like real gambling interest behind it. Because like the next step, I think, is going to be putting like these kiosks in casinos and stuff. Dude, because like how many times are you like, dude, when you're we're in Vegas. I mean, I live in Vegas, but like how many times have you been out here when you're in Vegas? You're up having a good time gambling and stuff. But like, I don't quite have enough for the I don't want to keep doing the tables all night. And games are over, but it's the middle of the night. I'm still active. And you end up just like sitting down on a slot machine. How much more fun would it be to like, oh, dude, I could just sit here like in a sports bar, like the sports bar, fucking fire off horse bets, dude, on these fucking digital ponies, dude. And like people think like that's crazy. Why would anybody do that? Dude, every casino here that has the digital horse race, like just the stupid game that goes around the track, the plastic pony game, it's always packed. Always packed. And the D downtown on Fremont, owned by a friend of the show, Derek Stevens, owner of the Circa, dude, that one has one of the it's the last one in the world, but the original old school like exacta box plastic pony game. I don't know if you've ever seen that one. It's like the old ass 1970s one, and like basically you sit at your thing and it'll like have all the horses, and then it'll pop up lines like exacta box lines for like, do you want 4-7, 2-4, and you go through and then you put your quarters in on that, and then dude, it's fucking sweet. And that thing's packed. My teeth started flying out there. That thing is packed nonstop. Me and Jen were there, friends of the show, Rachel Fisher of Hollywood Crime Scene, her boyfriend Brendan Sexton, who played Warren Beatty in Empire Records. We were hanging out with them back in October when they were in town to do a live Hollywood Crime Scene at Wise Guys Comedy Club here. And dude, we fucking hung out at that machine till like 5:36 in the morning, and it was packed the whole time on a Thursday night or whatever. Like,
betting the plastic ponies, gotta love it.
Yeah, and so digital ponies, let's move them into that plastic pony sphere. And I really think that we're onto something big here. But enough of that. Let's get on to the conference championships. I don't have the NFL music on here. All right, whatever.
So I thought the generals were due.
That's good enough for the segue, right?
We could also do a quick recap. Tracking your child's erections, weird. Breeding with my brother's digital horses, not weird.
Yes.
Moving on.
Yeah. Exactly. You wanna be a digital horse fuck guy like me? That's fine.
Yeah.
Start asking about your kid's boners, you're a fucking pervert. All right. That's we all know this. God damn, dude. The show gets so weird sometimes. All right, I'm logging into my mybookie.ag account right now. We're going to be looking at the odds on this conference championship. We got in the first game, the Eagles hosting the Washington football team Redskin Commanders. Is that the official title now? Like
the commies.
The commies. All right. So we are on, if you use our promo code Bowser here at MyBookie, you will get the casino chip and the deposit bonus. I think you get the deposit bonus on your first like 3 deposits too, up to $1,000. And there's a deposit for crypto. So you get in on here's the plan. You get in on photo finish, you get the crown going, you launder that through Solana and then into Bitcoin, and then you pump that into MyBookie, take the rewards there, pump it back through the fucking photo finish for more digital pony action. See, I've basically given you a financial plan that will carry you through the rest of your life if you're willing to show discipline. I am also not a financial advisor. This is not a financial advice show. So I just want to say that. Okay, I'm in MyBookie. We are going to NFL, and the Philadelphia Eagles are a 6-point favorite, minus 295 on the money line. The over-under is at 47.5. Washington plus 230 on the money line. Brett, what do you like?
So, to me, if this line was 3, I'd be tempted to take the Commanders. The line being 6 makes me love the Eagles. And you could be saying to yourself, that's counterproductive. You have to cover more points. But look at the game we just saw. We're all prisoner of the moment, right? And everyone thought the Lions were just going to roll on through. And here the Commanders come in, put up 45 points, win by 10. And the Eagles were this close to just giving that whole thing away.
Yeah, I mean, literally,
against the Rams.
Puka Nacua, like one more catch, or him or Cooper Kupp, like one more play on them, and they win that thing.
And they win the game. And what you're looking at here is the Commanders' defense isn't very good, and they are going to get owned in the trenches, both sides of the football.
Yep,
that's going to give you the best chance to win a game.
Interior offensive lineman up, the guy who's supposed to be blocking Jalen Carter. We'll get to our underdog fantasy, but trust me, this factors into my my handicap.
But yeah, he's moving now out to tackle, so you have a worse tackle, a worse guard. It's all falling apart. It's a great story. It ends here.
Yeah,
the Eagles are the most talented team in the league.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier in our pre-show meeting, and yeah, I agree with that, dude. Like, just like, I mean, the receiver talent alone of AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, like that's one of the best duos in the league. And then what's his name? Fucking Dotson as a third, like a slot guy. Like, dude, he's a first round pick just 2 years ago by these very Commanders. Like that's, I mean,
and they like 3 of their draft picks are like starters and like playing at like Pro Bowl caliber.
Well, and that's the thing is like Goddard got dinged up there. Calcaterra came in and they didn't miss a beat with him at tight end.
No,
you know, like
they have the depth. They're gonna own this game.
Even when Saquon needs a breather, Kenny Gainwell's a fucking great change of pace back to come in off the bench. Like,
they have the talent to lose the turnover battle and still cover the spread.
That's the big thing here is because when you look at these games in the playoffs, a lot of times people go, "Oh, this team outgained the other team by so many yards. How is that so?" You know, and you're like, dude, look at the fucking turnover. Turnovers mean everything in the playoffs, dude. Because and I heard Rich Gannon saying this on one of like the podcasts or pregame shows or whatever. But Rich Gannon had the best line. He's like, "Well, no, the reason why fucking turnovers matter so much in the playoffs is when you turn the ball over against very good teams, it's going to put you behind them. Like, you can get away with it sometimes during the regular season when you're playing inferior competition. But when everybody's good in the playoffs, those turnovers really get magnified."
If you look at the way the Chiefs have been winning, all they do is hang around and don't shoot themselves in the foot and wait for you to blow it.
Yeah.
They don't have this like necessarily this clutch thing that they could come back in the end. It's like, we're just going to wait around until you try to do too much.
Yeah, and so in this game, I'm with you on this. I'm all over the Eagles, and I even took it at 6.5 at one point. I have it at 6, though, for most of my action. I've learned, this is a little tip for everybody, bet earlier in the week in football. You'll get a better number, and for people to think, oh, but what if the last second injury fucks me at the end? I guarantee you'll benefit more from getting the better number in the long term than how many injuries end up biting you at the last second. Like I guarantee you that'll play out that way.
I'm confident enough in this. I would do an alt line up to like 9.5.
I would even go up to, I think I'm going to do 9.5 and 13.5 because I can see them, dude. I could see them winning this like 35-21.
Yeah.
Or 28-14, something like that, dude. Come on.
Because at minus 9.5, you're getting plus 134.
Now, one thing, I don't have it in front of me right here. I should have been more prepared. But, dude, just the record of rookie quarterbacks in conference championship games. Like, dude, this is not the first time one's gotten here. And the best, guess who, like, one of the best performances by a rookie in a conference championship game is? Because, like, guys that have gotten there and then gone on to win Super Bowls, like Ben Roethlisberger's one. Joe Flacco's another. But guess who had the best game as a rookie in a conference championship game?
I was going to say Ben Roethlisberger, but he didn't put up a lot of stats back then. He was just playing efficiently.
Mark Sanchez. And dude, like, yeah, Roethlisberger had like 2 touchdowns, but 3 interceptions in his. I think, like, Sanchez was the best because he only had like one pick and one like it was a very average game. But like these guys have not done well in these spots. And I mean, Jaden Daniels is great. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, man, this is a tough spot. You also got to remember, dude, the Commanders' offense kind of relies on speed and athleticism. And I think part of the reason why it worked for them in Detroit was it was a dome game. You know, if Detroit actually had balls and played outdoors like a real cold weather team should, then that gets negated. And I think they win that game, no problem. And this is going to be a cold fucking game in Philadelphia on Sunday for sure. Like it was snowing last week. It probably will be snowing, I think, this week. If not, it's going to be ugly weather.
To me too, it's like when you're looking at lines and it's like, oh, I liked it at -2.5, but -3.5. I think that field goal. If you feel that passionately about 1 point, don't bet the game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, have some conviction that you're gonna win this thing by 7, so that when that random scoop and score pick 6 happens, you're still covering. You know what I mean? Like
Kramer has a theory that you always take the 2.5 and lay the 3.5 in NFL games. Because it's the book trying to bait idiots one way or the other.
Yeah.
And so chances are like, yeah, no, that 2.5, you're like, oh no, I want the 3. I want to be covered by a field goal. It's like, no. The reason why they're doing that is they know that's going to hit, but they got to set it there. Like,
and people want to always look at Vegas always gets it right. Look at the Eagles or Eagles Rams last week. It ended in a push at 6. It's like, yeah, but you could just as easily look at the Lions and the Commanders.
Right.
That was 20 points off.
And also, Vegas doesn't necessarily set the lines. Like I know Pinnacle is one of the main companies that sets lines, and they're actually based in the Midwest. Just very nerd stuff. I know the lines originate from the casinos here, but yeah, like they get them from a source in the Midwest for the most part. So I mean,
the factor that people don't take into account is they're like, oh well, they're looking at rush stats, this, that. Not really. They're looking at you idiots.
Dude, I know a guy who used to be, or I knew a guy who used to be an NFL line maker, and he was telling me how he does it. He mostly did it for NFL and WNBA, like weirdly enough. Yeah. But he's like, dude, no, we basically just look at the times they played each other, and like it's like really basic. Oh, what's the last 5 matchups between these two teams? Okay, we'll take that average. That's probably where the line's going to be. I mean, you know, and then like, okay, if there was a big injury or something that, you know, now that maybe moves it, you know, like, but.
And also, if you're one of these guys who it's like, yeah, I'd like the Eagles to win, but I think the Commanders cover. Quit trying to thread the needle. Like, if you don't think the Commanders are going to win, don't bet them with the points.
Yeah. Especially in any spread under a touchdown, you should have confidence that they can win the game. If you
don't think they can win outright, and for them to win outright, everything needs to go their way. It's also going to be one of those moments where them always going for it on 4th down is going to bite them in the ass.
Yes. And let's not forget, Dan fucking Quinn's their coach.
Yeah.
I mean, Nick Sirianni's not like Vince Lombardi, but Dan Quinn, he's never blown a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl.
Was Quinn and Kellen Moore on the same staff for the Cowboys?
Yes. So he was part of that disaster too. Yeah.
So go Cowboys there, right?
I mean, yeah. And he was the defensive coordinator for Pete Carroll, now the new Vegas Raiders coach.
Well, I'm just saying, like, there's familiarity between them, you know, here.
Yeah, no, there is. Absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't even think about that part of the handicap. Yeah. Kellen Moore crafting a game plan for a Dan Quinn defense is.
I always figure the familiarity favors the offense because defenses don't change up crazy.
No.
You kind of do what you do.
Defense, I mean, okay, yeah, there's a lot of scheming on defense, but for the most part, the scheming involves I have a stud. Let's figure out ways to get him into action. It's really more personnel dictated.
They're not going to just go to Tampa 2. They don't run that. Yeah. They're not going to, you know, like they're not. Whereas offense, you can kind of change things pretty drastically.
Well, that's another thing is fucking this style of defense that Washington does play with, like where they do a lot of man-to-man with guys like AJ Brown and Devontae, dude. Like, I feel like I like both of their longest catch over.
And if you think about this, Washington goes no huddle and really wants to go high pace, and the Eagles offense just wants to lean on you and drain you out. By the fourth quarter, you're going to be gassed.
It'll be like playing San Diego State basketball, where they just beat on you and beat on you, dude. Like,
even if this game's close going into the fourth, the defensive line for the Commanders is going to just get pushed backwards 5 yards before Barkley even gets to them.
yep. All right. So let's move on to the next one. And I want to know your thoughts on Kansas City and Buffalo in Kansas City, 3:30 p.m. West Coast time on Sunday. Kansas City -1.5 here on my bookie. That's a fucking great line. -125 money line, and the over-under is at 48.5. Buffalo is getting +102 on the money line.
So this is the one I'm least confident in.
This is the one I'm most confident in.
And the reason, when you hear my reasons why, you'll understand why. But historically, when teams are going for the 3 in a row, it's their rival that takes them out and keeps it from happening.
Oh yeah, like Colts, Patriots, or like
the Giants and Phil Simms against Montana and the Niners.
That's right.
Then you have the 49ers and Steve Young against the Cowboys and Troy Aikman, right? And then even to like a lesser extent, it was the Patriots. They weren't going for a three-peat necessarily, but they're in that early run, and Peyton Manning finally got over the hump.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here because is this really their rival for Kansas City? Because to me,
is their third conference championship game.
Cincinnati is the team that's given them most trouble, though, in the playoffs.
But see,
okay, them.
I hear what you're saying, but in the scenarios I was playing, all of those rivals, one team was the whooping boy until they weren't.
Okay.
And so this is that scenario because this is their third conference championship game against each other. And back to what we were saying before of don't beat yourself. In that last game, there's that rush at the goal line where Josh Allen kind of looked when he got stopped like he was going to want to pitch it and try to make something crazy happen. And he held it. And they interviewed him after, and they were like, "Were you thinking about pitching it?" He's like, "No, in that moment, I just try not to make a play that's going to lose it for my team." And then they're like, "But yeah, it crossed my mind." So he's like in that mode of just don't blow it.
No, I get it. I think this should be at least 3 points. I think 1.5 is way too low for Kansas City at home in a conference champion spot. Patrick Mahomes, his record to the playoffs. Like, what is he hasn't lost since he lost to Tom Brady in the Super Bowl? I mean, the dude is a fucking and I'll say this: part of my handicap on Chiefs games lately is when it's a close line like this. Every Sunday night and every Monday morning, people on Twitter freaking out. It's fixed. It's fixed. The Chiefs get all the calls. Man, they get everything. Cool. Yeah, we know that. I'm factoring that into my handicap, so I'm taking -1.5, dude. I'm not overthinking this. They win this by a fucking field. I like it at 2.5. I like it at 3.5. But, dude, I especially like this at 1.5, dude. Like to me, it's like I have not lost a lot of money betting against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. I'm not going to stop now. Hell, last week, even with that fucking safety, I still covered because I got it at 8.5. It's like get in early. I don't wait until the last second at 9.5. So all the people that complained about it at 9.5 last week and the safety saying, "Oh, that was rigged for the casinos to make money." No, that was the last thing casinos wanted to happen because everybody took the Chiefs at 8.5. And when I got up to 9.5, that's when the Houston action started pouring in. And so they got both ways on that. That was a bath for the casinos, trust me.
Yeah, it's hard to bet against the Chiefs, which is why I don't like it. But again, I'm going to throw this out there. If you like the Bills in this game, 1.5 points is doing nothing for you.
Yeah, take the +102 money line. I mean,
don't even do that. Take the -2.5 alternate line.
Yeah, that makes sense. And here's the thing. Another reason is I would probably like the Bills a little more in this if they didn't play already in the regular season and Buffalo would won.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That the revenge spot for the Chiefs here, kind of thing, where it's normally you think it's the Buffalo revenge spot coming in, but in this particular spot, it's the Chiefs fucking revenge spot. And I don't know.
At the end of the day, too, it comes down to coaching, and there's
Andy Reid's such a better coach here. So I gotta lay the 1.5, dude.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
And but I also say this, I'm normally not a totals guy. I don't hate the under 48.5. I think it's going to be a boring game.
A lot of these total, what the Chiefs games and the unders has been a bet of mine all year because people can't seem to grasp that the Chiefs don't score more than 20 anymore.
Yeah, they win on defense and fucking like slowing the game down and like winning
and
on.
They're winning like 17-13.
Yeah, they limit the number of possessions that each team has and make you play perfect in a couple possessions. And unless you can do that, it's really tough. And that's like, in fact, I don't mind a 14 teaser here, even though you normally don't tease across 0, but tease the Chiefs to like plus fucking 4.5, 5.5 or whatever. Tease the Eagles down to a pick 'em, and then tease both totals up for the under.
Yeah.
I don't hate that because like weather could be a factor in both these games to affect the totals, and so I am definitely going to be placing that bet. What am I talking about? Anytime I say, "Oh, maybe I am definitely doing that and much more." But yeah, I just feel like and also if you want to be a conspiracy theorist, the NFL wants Taylor Swift in attendance at the Super Bowl for ratings. I heard that and I was like, that's so stupid. Like that's one thing that they don't need to bump a ratings bump on is the fucking Super Bowl. It's not hard to get many more people looking at this.
Yeah. I mean, so I've heard some industry insiders saying that within the next like few years, don't be surprised when Super Bowl becomes a pay-per-view event.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Because they're losing money on these deals with NBC, CBS, and Fox rotating each year because they can't charge them really anymore for it, and there's more value to it.
It's funny how like because I've been getting back into wrestling because having the Peacock app, I get like you just get all the there's no more pay-per-views. It's just the Peacock premium events which are free on there, and I'm like. Wait, like, and I was thinking, I'm like, if the NFL is smart, you make the NFL Network app like $10 a month. People pay that easy, and then it's the Super Bowl is included on that, or on that every year. I don't know. You charge $10 an extra for the Super Bowl on that or whatever. I don't know.
Dude, if you did $70, like as a pay-per-view event, most people are doing parties and stuff anyways, Super Bowl parties.
Yeah.
Your viewership's not going to go down to the point where your revenue's not going up significantly.
Yeah.
And here's what you also do is you do region-based like tiering system where if you're like in Uganda, it's $6 or whatever. You know what I mean? Because you wanted to stream in all these different countries.
You know who would get fucked by this more than anybody in a way? Is
bars.
Like bars and like casino, like the parties they do at these places, because all of a sudden now you're not paying you can't do pay-per-view at those places. You have to do closed circuit where they have to basically pay per person in the establishment, and that would fucking get dude. Yep. I think there's a way around it though, because I mean bars have been doing basically do it the way they've done Sunday Ticket for years at these bars.
Well, UFC fights at bars.
Yeah. Yeah.
They never did boxing matches at bars. They've never really done that, but UFC always.
Yeah.
I never understood that.
Yeah, I remember one time when I worked back at Pizza Mania, RIP after the arson, hopefully it gets rebuilt soon. But Pizza Mania, they one time there was like a big Tyson Holyfield fight or whatever. Well, I forget who it was exactly, but yeah, they got the fight. Someone snuck a black box in, and we just threw it on. Like, and you could be that thing. You can't advertise that. It's like, but the people that were there eating all of a sudden looked up. There was like all these dads with their families looking up, going, "Oh shit, they got the fight. We're staying for a little bit longer, guys."
Yeah,
it was really funny, dude. All right, so yeah, I think we're pretty confident though. I'm confident on Chiefs and Eagles. That's my official picks. What are your official picks here? Are you on Buffalo officially?
So I'm going bold with my official picks. I'm going Eagles -9.5 and Bills -2.5.
Woo! That's spice.
You're gonna juice that parlay, that 2-team parlay up to practically like 3-team parlay payouts.
Yeah,
by taking that.
It might even be a little more because that alt line for the Bills could really jack you up on that.
Like, it's not much higher than the money line. I just looked at it right now.
Yeah. No, that's nice. All right. Want to do an underdog entry here before we get out of here?
Yeah, so I want to talk about, because I didn't understand this, and maybe some people listening also didn't understand this, but they're doing this promo of anytime touch or first of the game touchdown score. And what it is, you apply the promo, which is free to apply, and then you're just picking normal like attempts, carries, whatever over
Normal
under
pick,
to three
so
players. It
this is
doesn't have
on
to
the
be
pick
touchdown
entries,
related.
on the pick
Yeah,
entries. So
and
normal
then
pick entry on the higher lower stuff.
and those three players, if one of those three players scores the first touchdown of the game, you and everybody else who applied that promo and picked that player split 100 grand.
Love it.
So if you're going to go Saquon Barkley or
Yeah,
Hurts,
you're gonna get
obviously
your 10 cents.
you're going to get 10 cents on that because everybody's doing that. But if you go with someone a little more obscure, even like an
Grant
Hurts or something,
Calcaterra.
yeah, then and you don't have to win your 3-player parlay to
That's
get
what
that
was gonna
payout.
ask. So you just have to have them on your ticket.
Having them on your ticket, they don't have to cover your over yardage, your under yardage, whatever. They just have to be on your ticket.
I almost want to trash my entry that I picked for this episode now, just because I'm like, oh shit, dude, I should probably do this differently. But okay, you want to go first?
Yeah. So the entry I'm doing for underdog is
so we're
I'm
factoring
doing,
this in. You're trying to hit this 100 grand.
I'm trying to hit this 100 grand. So I'm doing one chalk player in Jalen Hurts because that tush push in close, he has a great chance of scoring that first touchdown. And
he might not be as chalk as you think with the way Saquon's going. I mean,
but they still don't on 3rd and 1. They're still not going to Saquon.
Yeah, sure.
And so he could easily score a touchdown from farther out, but if it gets to that goal line scenario, he's not going to get the opportunity more. And I think that's really the only time they're going to run with Jalen Hurts. So I'm actually going under his rushing prop. His leg was already banged up and it got twisted last week.
Yeah,
so going under 30.5 yards.
Yeah, they don't want him running on those design runs on 1st and 10 for sure. We might see an occasional 3rd and 6 scramble, but yeah. For the most part,
I'm playing this as it's going to be Eagles blowout, so you especially don't want to expose him to injury.
That makes a lot of
sense. Any more than that. Next, I'm going with Austin Eckler. He's probably not going to be picked very much because he's not the goal line back per se of scoring that touchdown. So if he does get it, I'll get a lot more money. And the Eagles really stop the run. I expect the Redskins to be down. The Eagles aren't going to want to give up deep threats, have a great secondary. A lot of checkdowns to Eckler. I'm going over 25.5 receiving yards.
I love that play, dude. I love Eckler, the receiving yards in this, because I do think he's going to be very active. Here's the thing. I think his snap count's going to be up there. And when Eckler's snap count up there on a team that's playing from behind, there should be a lot of check down, like you're saying.
Yep. And all it takes is one catch to get that 25.5. And if you go with the over 2.5 catches, you're losing odds. So this is the way to keep your odds even. And then my last one is Dyami Brown over 5.5 targets. If they end up throwing the ball a lot, I'd rather take over 5.5 targets than over 3.5 catches, because sometimes you get credit for targets on those. He just threw the ball away, but Dyami Brown was 20 yards away, but he was closest one to it. You get some weird target looks sometimes, and in general, he's been way more involved this playoff run. And if you're the Eagles defense and you're up, you're looking to shut down Terry McLaurin from keeping him to get you back into it, and you're willing to live and die with what Dyami Brown could do to you.
No, I like that a lot. Yeah, because 5.5 is not many targets too when you really think about it. Like premium
throwing 30 times.
Yeah, dude. And I could see him having to throw 40 times in this, to be honest with you. Okay. And it's funny you say that, because for my entry, at first I was looking, I have it crossed out. The first one is Daniels higher 32.5 pass attempts. I was like, oh wow, that's a spicy meatball. But then I got a little I realized, you know what? They're probably gonna, the way they lose this game and get blown out in this game, like we're thinking, I think part of it is them trying to come out and get into a fucking a boxing match with the Eagles out the gate, where they're gonna try and run the ball, maybe try and soften, see what they can get off that Eagles defense in the run game. So let's go Brian Robinson higher 9.5 carries. So 10 carries for their number one running back. Very, very within the range of outcomes here, even in a blowout, because like I've noticed this with them too. On 3rd and long, sometimes they like just giving it to him up the middle and seeing what he can get away with.
Well, and especially also like on 3rd and 2, they feel comfortable going for it on 4th and 2, so they don't mind running it with him.
Yeah. So I think that you get to the double-digit carries there, no problem in this game. Like even if they're having to throw a lot from behind, I think you're going to get 5-6 carries early on here, and then it'll be enough to carry you through the rest of the game. Like the next one I have, this is a fun one. Devontae Smith, higher first quarter receiving yard 6.5. I think they're gonna want to get him involved early. I could see them trying to I could see them going on a big play action to him early or something like that. Like get him. He almost had that big downfield pass last week where he got lit up and there was the penalty on it. But I just think that they're gonna and honestly, 6.5 yards isn't much, dude. He can get that on a screen pass. It's like there's so many ways he gets that in the first quarter.
And the Redskins, they go quick. So it's not going to be like one of those things where it's like Notre Dame in the national championship game, driving for 9 minutes and you don't even get a chance.
Yeah. And also on this one, dude, where you got to think like Lattimore is probably going to be on AJ Brown. And so I think there's a great coverage matchup here for Devontae, dude. Like I think I like all of his like receiving props. Like I'm going to ladder his catches, his yards. I'll probably play him 1 and 2 touchdowns. Like I think he could be an X factor in this game here, big time. Like, and then my third one, I went on the defensive side of the ball for the Eagles. We talked about this with the struggles, like with the injuries and everything on the Washington's O line. Let's just go with Jalen Carter, higher 1.5 assisted tackles and assists. Like that's dude, like 2 tackles. Come on, dude. He's gonna stuff 2 guys up the middle, dude. Like I could see him having a 2-sack game as well. So like he's another one where I kind of like him maybe playing some sack stuff on him with his ability to bring interior pressure, but just as a run stopper, dude, that's a gift from God right there.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement with that.
So yeah, I like yours and you like mine. Let's play both of these.
Also, I went to mybookie.ag and I put my parlay in at the Eagles -9.5, Bills -2.5, and the payout's +394.
That's great, dude. Yeah, that's about a 3. That's a nice payout there. So yeah, so head over to mybookie.ag. Use promo code Bowser for that, and for these underdog pick'em entries, make sure you use our promo code LSH over there at Underdog Fantasy, and get these bonus, dude. Get the bonus money. Get signed up. I think with our promo code at Underdog, your first pick'em entry is free. So bam, dude. Combine for the free pick'em entry. You combine Bret and you combine mine. You do a 6 fucking legger. It's free. Take the shot. Let's win some shit.
And here's the great thing: you enter that promo code at mybookie.ag, and then you're basically giving yourself double the 2 plus 394 because you're doubling your bet because you just got some free money to play with.
Exactly. This is some serious homeless chess over here that we're doing. But all right, Bret, this is a good show. I'm glad to have you on for conference championships. We've always enjoyed these our entire lives together. You're not really big on the social media stuff, and you don't have a book or an album coming out, so we don't need to do the plugs. But yeah, man, thank you so much for joining. Make sure you sign up with those promo codes, and make sure if you listen over on Spotify and Apple, make sure you get over to our YouTube channel here where we go live for the episodes, and hit subscribe and turn notifications on so you can be in on the loop and join our chat when we're doing it. I didn't do a good job of promoting this one, so we didn't have an active chat really for this one. I apologize, but we're still working out the kinks, still working out some details. Going to be dropping the luckstopshere.com coming up, so be on the lookout for that. And dude. Also, dude, I was supposed to, dude. Here's something funny just to throw out at the end. I was supposed to have a meeting tonight with Sean and Kramer to go over some business stuff for the show and everything. Down at Circa, because they do the VSiN show from there on Friday nights. And Kramer calls me this morning, like, dude, don't come. You're not going to want to come. I'm like, why? Turns out Trump's doing a thing down there at Circa tonight, and the Secret Service is going to have that place on such lockdown. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to even be able to drive within like a half mile of the area, probably a mile of the area. I might as well just stay home. We'll meet. You guys are going to be there next week, right? He's like, yeah, we'll just meet up. Let's go over it then, dude. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Cause like that was like one of those like, man, like, oh shit, dude. Like because I remember when I worked on Wilshire Boulevard at that business management firm in LA. And when Obama came down Wilshire one day, it was just like you couldn't move in the city. It just brought the city to a standstill. And Vegas traffic on a Friday is already a fucking nightmare. So I had to text Jen. I was like, hey, I told you I was going to pick you up from work and you're going to drop me off at Circa, pick me up later. Yeah, that's I'm staying home. Not happening. But yeah, so one thing that's cool though, that part of what we're going to meet about, and I'll tell you guys, is I'm going to start doing monthly pop-ups at different bars and sports books around town here. So for people that want to get to meet me in person and or get free stuff, I'll have lighters, coasters, probably some hats, t-shirts, be giving away free shit. So yep, you be on the lookout for those pop-ups. And to stay in touch with all that stuff, you can follow us on x.com at LuckStopsPod. You can see it right here on the YouTube screen. And you can also follow us at LuckStopsPod on Spotify. And don't forget, our Patreon is $1 a month. And you get, first off, it helps support the show, helps us make upgrades, and there's commercial-free episodes on there. So if you don't like commercials that they shove down your throat on Spotify and whatnot, $1 a month. That's all we ask. And yeah, so everybody, thank you so much. God bless you and keep gambling.